Great. I'd like to call this meeting of the Durham Board of Selectmen to order on Tuesday, February 9th. We are still in a virtual format, so I will call roll of board members so that we can confirm that board members can be heard by anybody who's calling in or watching the meeting. So Rich George,
Present.
Rob Ponto,
Here.
Mark Farren, and I'm Kevin Neto, and obviously I'm here. Todd Boyer is not here. He may show up later, we're not sure, but we have 4 of the 5 board members tonight, so we do have a quorum. Any amendments to the agenda, board members or Ruth? No, I'm gonna make one minor one, unless there's an objection. Like if you haven't read it yet, I won't do this, but down on the consent agenda on 6A, it says approved minutes for January 26th. We also were sent and need to approve the minutes from the 19th. Does anyone object to having that added to the consent agenda? Okay, hearing no objection, so we will add January 19th minutes to the consent agenda. Okay, is anybody here for public comment? I'm not seeing anybody that's not normally here for business purposes in the list of participants, but
Todd's on his way on.
okay.
His computer's just slow.
Okay, then we will close the public comment portion and move on to action and discussion items for a policy on poll permit. Ruth, do you want to put that one up on the screen or?
I can, yes, absolutely. I just had it 2 seconds ago. All right, which one? No, that's not the right one. Hold on. It just. Come on. Oh, here we go. All right, I found it.
Okay, great, thank you. So this, I think the background here is that rather than require that these come to the Board of Selectmen every time that there's a utility pole that needs to be put in, that we authorize the road commissioner to inspect the proposed site and approve the permit. So if I essentially got that, the concept of that correct, Ruth?
Yes.
Okay. Any board members have questions or comments on this policy?
I guess I'm, geez, I swear we looked at this or done something similar to this every year since I've been on this board, but maybe my mind's tripping here. But I wonder if it should be either the road commissioner or the code officer. I only say that simply because a lot of times some of these poles, you know, you might need 4 or 5 poles up a private driveway. That has nothing to do with the road commissioner.
They wouldn't come for a permit for that, Rich. These are only ones that are in the right of way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. Okay.
And that's why it's the
Yep.
road commissioner, because it's in the right of way.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, any other?
Rob, just out of curiosity, who would do like an aerial easement? Do we have anything unless it's on town property?
I don't know on that one. I would,
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't tell you.
They don't come up often, but they do come up.
Yeah.
I got no objection to this.
Anybody else have any comments or questions on this?
I'll just say this is consistent with, you know, what like the town of Topsom and town of Brunswick do. So it's not uncommon.
My only question, I will stay upright. I realize I am like, this is a nitpicky thing beyond nitpicky thing too, is that it just says pole permit. What kind of pole? Are we talking about flag poles or fence poles, or do we need to specify that this is for utility poles in the, public utility poles in the, within the right of way or something like within the, you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at there?
Yeah, I would say utility poles within the public right of way.
Yeah.
Well, let me do it around the other way. Oops.
Public right away.
Hmm? Did I spell something wrong?
No, I would just said public right away. I wouldn't make it right away because that could be a private right away. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. And then my other thought was second sentence. Rob, you got to kill your mic. Says the Durham Road Commissioner will inspect the proposed site and approve the permit. I think something after approve the permit, like if necessary conditions have been met or whatever, the way this is worded, it just says, yeah, he'll inspect and he will approve the permit. We want him to, it should be approved, not just because the policy said he needs to approve it.
I don't know the right wording for this.
And approve the permit if,
All applicable conditions are met.
yeah,
Keep it simple.
yep.
So.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah.
I'm going to move that we accept the Town of Durham utility pole permit policy as currently presented on the screen, which authorizes the road commissioner to inspect and approve utility pole permits if the applicable conditions have been met.
Second.
Rich seconds. Any further discussion on that? Before
Hey, sorry I'm late.
oh, no worries. Okay, now you can vote. So.
It's a good idea to do an government. All right.
Yeah. All right. So motion on the is to approve the permit as we're looking at it. Rich George,
Yes.
Mark Farren,
Yes.
Yes.
Todd Bollier, Rob Ponto,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Motion passes 5. All right. Next on the list, 4B, is town emails. I think Ruth said in her report that we got approval for the durhammaine.gov. I had somebody call last week to confirm like that we really asked for it. I said, yeah, we really asked for it. Yeah, I was surprised that it's ready so quick because they told me it might still be a couple of weeks. So it was good that it came back so quick. All right, Ruth, where do we need to go from here?
Well, so then the next step would be to get together with BEK and work through the process of switching over.
We have to vote to approve the quote though, right? And the expenditure of the money, or no?
Probably be a good idea.
Well, certainly because it's over, I think the board has to approve it because it's over $5,000. So where's the money come from?
Telecommunications,
Okay. In 2021 or 2020?
2021.
Can we put the fees up or
You want the,
Just a spreadsheet. Could you
Yeah,
just
the
throw that up?
one pager, I think that lists everything. Yeah, that would be good to have on the record as well for the meeting.
hold on, let me find it. So that's a spreadsheet of the costs associated with it. There's per month costs that can be possibly dropped. But at this point, I figure we should probably go with them. And then I'll have a discussion with BEK to it as to what exactly this entails. And then they would set up the anti-spam for our emails, and they would set up a backup for the 365 as well.
Do we
Any
need
questions or-
Comcast emails?
Sorry, Todd, go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna call for comments or questions, but the BB tour, so go ahead.
Do we need Comcast emails? Why are we paying for them? We never use them.
So we right now we have a few Comcast emails. I think there are 5 that are still active. And those, my assumption is that we will get rid of those. And there will be some lapse, but so the cost for the 5 months for the Comcast emails would be until we actually switch over, and then maybe a month or 2 afterwards, just to make sure that we don't lose anything.
So it's for the part of the year that we've still had the Comcast emails. Right. Okay.
Right. And then we would discontinue
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
I just, my only question would be regarding, I think it all looks pretty decent and very well laid out, so thank you. So my only thing would be the professional service to set up the Office 365 backup, which it says it's optional. How is the email service going to be backed up? Is it going to be backed up off our server? Is it going to be backed up now towards in the cloud? What does that mean?
There's a certain amount that's backed up in the cloud, but I believe that our server would back it up as well. To be honest, Rich, I don't really, it's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but it's certainly something that I would have an in-depth discussion with BEK about as to how that would work.
I
And
was just
so,
wondering if there's a second or third tier layer of backup, if it's just a redundancy.
Right, like if we don't have that, does that mean we don't have a backup at all?
Right, that's what I mean. Is it a redundancy backup, or is it the primary backup, or is it like a on a PC, like a RAID backup where it just copies a drive, or and that's there for the server? I was just kind of curious what it was.
so what I think is that they're just making sure that they're clean path for the backup and making sure that there is a backup available. So I don't think it's an additional backup. I think it's just setting up so that it does back up correctly.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of money for a backup, like compared to like a Carbonite or something of that nature. That's why I was asking what's so special about it. I didn't know if it was a hard drive, if it's an actual, physical system that we're using, or.
Well, we have our own system that we do a hard drive that we do back up to. We have 2 systems, one at the fire station and one at our office that back up to each other. So
So this would be a third.
It's good stuff.
We don't really know. This whole conversation is speculation, right? We don't really,
it is all speculation at this point.
right?
Well, that's the only thing I would want clarification on. Other than that, I mean, the anti-spam thing, I mean, a lot of these programs now come with that. I was just curious as to, is that an added additional anti-spam, or is that the anti-spam that we would have?
Office is going to have some anti-spam built in, plus your email has the features built in. So if it was my choice, I'd say no to both of those and move on, because Office is also going to guarantee you, this is an executive level email service, so I don't think there's an extra need to back it up offsite.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of where you are, Rob. I was going to suggest that we move forward without those things tonight, and ask for a somewhat detailed written explanation from BEK on to the board on what those two things are and what we're getting for that. And maybe when we ask for that, we could include the question like, you know, is this a secondary backup or a tertiary backup? I mean, how is it different than what we might be getting as our normal backup in the process? And then if based on that, if we determine that, yeah, you know what, that's actually something we should do and is good value, we can always add it on.
I will second that if that's a motion.
Is that the two optional things we're talking
Yeah,
about there?
Two things that are 978 and
yeah.
change.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them.
All right, so I'm going to move that we approve the plan for e-migration license to Office 365 as presented, but without the optional professional services to set up anti-spam and without the optional professional services to set up Office 365 backup pending a more complete explanation from the vendor.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that? All right, I will call for the vote then. If you're in favor of the motion, say yes. If not, say no. Rich George,
Yes.
Mark Farren,
Yes.
Todd Bolia,
Yes.
Rob Ponto,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. So Ruth, if you could, I think you captured what we were looking for from BEK there in terms of some additional information on those two things. And we may consider adding those after we get more info, but let's move forward with what we've got.
Okay, that's fine.
Great, thank you for putting that together. All right, 4C, date for public hearing. Because we're in a referendum format town meeting, part of the law is that you have to have a public hearing prior to the scheduled day that you're going to be voting at the polls. I can't remember the exact, I think it's like at least 10 days before. Is that right?
Yeah,
And then it needs to be noticed for 7 days. But,
yeah.
you know, I will say, based on the experience from our last go around at referendum, I do not feel the need to have two public hearings. I think one would do it. But do others think that we should have two? I think last time we did like a weekday and a Saturday morning.
Fine with either one. I'm fine with one. I think that's sufficient. Was the attendance much higher one versus the other?
No, they were, the second one was a bit less, if I remember right. They were pretty close to each other. One wasn't significantly bigger than the other. And there was a lot of overlap. There was a lot of people that had something to say at the first one, and they came back again to say essentially the same thing in the second one because they wanted to make sure that if there was new people, they were hearing what they had to say. So Ruth, what were you thinking as far as dates?
Well, so the absentee ballots are going to be available on the 8th, starting the 8th. It's supposed to be the 6th, but it'll be the 8th because 6th is Saturday. So we probably want to have it maybe the 16th. That's 3 weeks before the actual day of the election.
You do that after the ballots are done, or do you want to do that before the ballots so people have more information before they potentially vote?
Well, I suspect, I mean, they could potentially vote starting the 8th, but I suspect most people won't come in until after the 16th. We could, make it, yeah, we could make it like the 2nd, or I don't know if you guys want to do it on.
No, that gets to be pretty far out. I'm hesitant to benchmark it off the absentee availability date.
I was thinking the 16th or the 23rd.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks feels about right. Because they will have had the mailer will have gone out, you know,
In
by the
here.
first week of March, right?
Yep, they should get it like the 4th or the 5th.
Yeah, so that would have gone out. They have a week to digest it. And actually in that mailer, we should have a pretty large notice of this public hearing, right? That's part of the deal.
Yep,
We'll-
yep.
And so they'll know when the hearing is, mailed to every address in town with info about the warrant. Now, are you thinking, is on doing it on a regular meeting night?
I was thinking of not actually doing it on a regular meeting night.
Good, I agree. Yeah, I think that,
That's why I was kind of picking the 16th, because the 9th and the 23rd are your regular meeting nights.
March 16th, how's that looking to everybody?
Works for me.
16th.
Yeah. All right, March 16th.
6:30?
Do we want to, well, actually, I was gonna say, should we do it at 6 to start earlier? But we tried to do that last time and people got confused. Because, like, we always start at 6:30, so they just assumed we were starting at 6:30. So we should probably stick with that.
6:30 on the 16th.
Yeah.
I don't know, we got plenty of time to broadcast it, so I don't know. John, at 6 o'clock. I mean, that's a long meeting, typically, a couple hours.
So what, are you saying you want to start at 6? Is that what you're saying, or?
I think I'd prefer to, but whatever everybody else. I don't think our typical meeting. I mean, this meeting is typically on a Saturday, so I mean,
Right.
it's an atypical meeting.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
Zoom meeting.
fine starting at 6. I mean, I would actually prefer it too. And I guess printing it in a notice mailed to every town. And I think actually part of the reason it was confusing before is because we had published 6, but it was on the calendar on the website as 6.
Right.
That's right. That's what the issue was.
Right.
So as long as we make sure we've got it right on what we're putting out there for information, it shouldn't really be that big of an issue. But so I agree with Rich. I would go with 6. Todd, I'm sorry. What you just said?
Yeah, I
something?
think 6 would be better. We'll get it done earlier.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Rob shake his head. I think Mark. Yeah. So I think we all agree. Let's go with 6 o'clock on March 16th for the public hearing. Okay. And 4D, Todd, you weren't here when we asked for amendments. I saw an email from you. You wanted to take this off the agenda. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, I had talked to Bob about where my family is doing a wedding venue. If
Oh.
any of you getting married, we have a wedding venue starting up next spring, this spring. And he was thinking originally we would just need an event permit, but no, we're not. We're gonna do probably 6 or 8 of them this summer. So
Oh,
we need
yeah.
a conditional use.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not building anything, it's just,
Good luck, my friend.
Yeah.
I wish you
Thank you.
smooth sailing and easy.
yeah.
All right. Oaths for Registrar and Conservation Commission. Evidently, we're supposed to appoint a registrar, what'd you say, in odd numbered years, Ruth? Is that right?
Maybe January in an odd number year.
Only when there's a full moon before,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And then an oath for someone volunteering to work on the Conservation Commission. And I don't know if you guys read this woman's qualifications, but she's the type of person we want on that committee. She's got some pretty amazing credentials, and I think it's great that she's stepping up, and I'm sure we could use her expertise even beyond the scope of the Conservation Commission in some areas. So I'm going to move that we approve the oaths as presented for registrar and for, do we have to name the actual people in the motion, Ruth?
You might as well. So, it's Becky and then the other one's Jessica Costa.
Yeah,
Kevin, I'm fine with the applicant, and I don't know if it's just a formality, but I thought whenever we appoint somebody now, we had to go through an executive session.
Oh,
yep.
we had,
Yeah, no, that's a good call out.
Right.
For the Conservation Commission, yes, but not for registrar.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, and we can do that. We have an executive session on the books tonight. Yeah, thanks for catching that, Rich. So I'm gonna move that we approve the oath for Becky Taylor Chase as our town registrar.
Second.
Rich seconds. Any discussion on that? All right, if you're in favor of the motion, say yes. If not, say no. Rich George,
Yes.
Mark Theron,
Yes.
Todd Boyer,
Yes.
Rob Ponto. Say that again, Rob.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Okay. That will move us on to department and committee reports. And the road commissioner is first tonight, Calvin.
Hello?
Yep.
Sorry about being late. Been busy and they're still out there cranking, so. I've been working on storms back to back. Apparently, we've changed the weather pattern in a hurry, so. Been communicating with surrounding towns regarding the road postings, the spring postings. And, we're all in agreement that this week, we're fine. Maybe, usually, I think last week it was the 16th February. So probably another week or two, we'll be posting the roads for spring thaw season. Those come out sometime around first to mid April. I'll be attending the next Southern Maine Public Works Group meeting tomorrow. We'll be discussing things like staffing during pandemic and vaccinations, and I guess they're going to discuss what towns are requiring it and if we can and all that stuff. I've updated the software on all of our new trucks. This is a very good software. It alerts me as to anything that's going on with the truck before there's a big issue. We find out when it's small. I get an email right off saying it's either over temperature or low coolant, or if a truck's revving over 2,500 RPM. So that's $500 a year for all the trucks. We're continuing to work with Maine Department of Labor for videos, phone conversations. We've been they've had some hiccups with the COVID thing and staffing. So it looks like we're getting back on track with being in touch with them to get our videos ordered, mailed, and back to them. So a lot of safety training this time of year. The new 2021 Wheeler is in service. This is probably its third storm today. Going very well. I worked on a proposed road posting ordinance. I sent you guys a copy. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions regarding that, if you've had a chance to look at it.
It's what you sent before the last meeting, right?
Nope, sent it yesterday. And as I say, it's no hurry. You don't have to look at it today because we have a spring postings coming right up. So basically, I just sent it to you again in Word, and as anything in red is the changes. It's very, very minimal changes. Basically, just fixed some typos and added.
But you also sent the statutes that
Yeah.
give us the authority to do it. So that was helpful too. Thank you.
Good, thanks. I remember I asked for that too. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go through it yet. So
If you want to wait till next meeting.
yeah, we can put.
The only thing with that is we're gonna have to set a date for a public hearing. but maybe we put it as an actual agenda item next time and then set a public hearing date at that meeting, something like that.
Yeah, and I think that public hearing, we can, like we do with junkyard, we just make it part of a regular meeting. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been working with the engineer on getting all the bid docs ready for paving. I had hoped to get them today, but I plowed all day yesterday and again today, and just haven't been able to nail that down to get all the bugs worked out on that. So I'll have that for you for the next meeting.
Okay. Great. Anybody have questions for Calvin?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you, Calvin. Go get some rest.
Yep.
All right. Next, Steve Moore, you're up, sir.
All right, good evening. Very brief report tonight. We just continue to work and manage calls. Our call volume had dropped off at the beginning of the year. It's now starting to tick back up again. Seeing several chimney fires in the last week, reminding people to be mindful about not only what they're burning in their stoves, but having them serviced appropriately. Prevents us from coming to your house at 2 a.m. I received, we did the bid opening on Monday afternoon. We received 3 bids on the RFP, and I'm reviewing that information right now. And more to follow on that.
Yep.
We're still hosting the Firefighter 1 and 2 program. That's going very, very well with 4 of our staff involved. And that's really all I have right now. The only other thing is the end of this week, I'll be submitting for the FEMA grant for 2020. I had mentioned that, I believe, last month to the department, to the board. We'll be submitting that, and we'll see what happens with that. Once again, it's a hope, but we'll see.
Yeah. Are there other grants other than the FEMA process that you follow and try to apply for?
We applied for again and got the forestry grant again this year, and used that, the forestry service grant, to use that to upgrade some of our radios. Looking on the federal side of things, there are several different FEMA grants that come out, but they're not really, a lot of them are based around adding to department staffing, and it's not really something that we're in line for, applicable for, things like that. So this Fire Act grant, this is the one that's really focused on
That's
us.
the one. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Any other questions for the chief?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, chief. Ruth, town administrator report.
Yeah, I don't really have much that we haven't talked about already.
Right.
Working on everything in the office.
Okay. Yeah, I think we pretty much talked about everything you mentioned in your report. So, okay. Anybody have any questions for Ruth? All right. That being said, I'm going to move that we accept the consent agenda as presented, which is approval of the minutes from January 19th and 26th and the accounts payable warrant.
Second.
Todd seconds. If you are in favor of the motion, say yes. If not, say no. Rich George,
Yes.
Mark Farren,
Yes.
Todd Bollier,
Yes.
Rob Ponto,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So selectmen's comments, upcoming meetings, Tuesday, February 23rd, regular meeting at 6:30 p.m. and also Tuesday, March 9th at 6:30 p.m. And I'll throw in, we just scheduled the public hearing for town meeting on Tuesday, March 16th at 6 p.m. All right. We are not going to adjourn yet. I'm going to move that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA section 405(6)A for discussion of personnel matters.
Second.
Rich seconds. If you're in favor of the motion, say yes. If not, say no. Rich George,
Yes.
Mark Farren,
Yes.
Todd Bollier,
Yes.
Rob Ponto,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Okay, we are in executive session.